There's like 8 tribes in New Zealand, and they would challenge each other before they went to battle with the haka. And what they're saying is, we want to fight you, and if you take up our challenge, we're going to take your breath away, so you can't fight us any longer. and with that, all you're thinking about is the people around you. That's where, especially over in England, they get it sort of wrong. The haka is not about you. It's about us as a group of people coming together collectively, which will make us stronger to be able to overcome the challenges in front of us. But it's a wonderful thing to do. I love doing the haka. I love watching it yesterday, and there's 2 hakas now that they do. They do a kamiti haka and they do another haka. And the reason they introduced another haka was because when Tana Umanga took over the All Blacks as captain, he was the first Samoan to ever captain the All Blacks. Not Polynesian, because the Maoris are Polynesian. He was the first Samoan. And he said, I want to lead the haka, which you had to be a Maori. In my day, I never led the haka. Buck Shelford when I was playing, and then Zinzan came along and he led the haka, because they're Maoris. And he said, no, I want to lead the haka. And I want to develop a different haka to encompass more of New Zealand. Not just our indigenous people, the Maoris, the Irish, the Kiwis, the English, Fijians, Tongans, everyone that plays together, and that's what that haka represents, the whole of New Zealand. You know, a very multicultural society we are.
Just on that last gentleman's question, in the Lions tour in New Zealand, did Brian O'Driscoll unconsciously disrespect the haka?
Not at all. No. That was
a rumour.
It doesn't matter what they do. And you know, David Campese used to run around the goal place. And, some of them would get in a little huddle. You know, they started fronting up to us. I remember the first time I'd ever come across that was out here actually. At Lansdowne Road, Willie Anderson. He tells a lovely story. I saw Willie about 5 years later when he was coaching up in Scotland. And I said, Willie, what got into your mind? Why did you ever do that? You know? He said, I had a great idea at the captain's meeting on the Friday night. I had the team sitting around me. And I said, boys, when that great Buck Shelford starts doing the haka tomorrow, we are going to link arms and we're going to march forward into their face. And he said he looked up and they're all sitting there like this. You can actually see them when he was, him and that, the doctor, what was the doctor's name? Irwin.
Yeah.
The 2 of them, because he was crazy too, wasn't he? And they were literally dragging the rest of the team forward like a spear. But yeah, it's amazing. It's a wonderful thing to do. But no, it wasn't disrespectful at all. Yes.
Yeah, who's your toughest opponents over the years? What have you played with both of you?
Well, because I never got the chance to play against it, I had 2 tough opponents. One, I don't know if you ever played against him, Garen Jenkins.
Yes.
Who is that height and that width as well, and small little Welsh guy, and he's so short, and we're both tall for hookers. And he was just impossibly low all the time. I mean, he shortened my life and my back, I think. Very, very difficult. He loves that fact. He loves the fact that I say that too, actually. I met him himself and his kids recently. He's a great fella, really, really good. And the other was Phil Kearns, and I told that story last night. And I played my first test against Australia in '94, and I wanted to let them know that, look, he's a big guy. He's one of the best hookers in the world. Himself and Fitzy were the 2 best hookers in the world. I wanted to let him know that there was someone else trying to, on the block. So I gave him a little dig, and he pulled my jersey out over my head and beat the life out of me. And however bad that was, Philip Danaher, my captain, ran in from the centre and said, Jesus Kearns, will you leave him alone? He's only a child. Tail between my legs and off I go. And he was very tough. He was a big guy, but. And then John Smith at the end, but he was very young at that stage. I never really kind of saw him in his pomp.
Phil Kearns is very good. I sort of rated him very highly. But the guy that I played against, a guy called Tommy Lawton, who you would never have played against him probably. He was the first of the really big hookers in our day, he was about 6'2", which was huge for a hooker in those days. But he was also very heavy, and he was a horrible bugger. I can assure you of that too. And I don't think you can either. You can't box your way out of a paper bag. So I used to try and get inside people's heads through a bit of yap in the air and that sort of stuff. But I learnt that from him, because the first time I played against Australia was 1986 at Wellington. And I played against Tommy in the New Zealand under-21s against the Australian under-21s. And he was in those days, about 16 stone in 1983, 84. but by 1986 he'd blossomed to about 19 stone. He was huge in those days, it was just massive. And I still remember him running on the field, and I'm looking at it. And if you ever meet an Aussie, never call their jerseys gold. They say Aussie gold. I said it's always yellow because it really upsets them. And the referee used to say to me, also the team, he'd say scrum gold, and I'd say, excuse me, ref, please stop the game. So he'd stop the game. I go, obviously we are black. Please refer to the Australians as yellow from now on. There's steam coming out of their ears. Anyway, so the first scrum went down against Tom, and I'm looking at him thinking, Christ, look at the size of you. He had a receding hairline, bristly face, angry. First scrum packed down, we rubbed our bristly, my face against his face, and I had a rash within about 2 seconds. And he smelled as though he'd drunk a slab of 4X before he'd run out in the field. And he said, "You're just a baby. You should be at home with your mother." And I was like, Christ, I wish I was at home. But yeah, anyway, we lost that game. But no, he was, and I think that sort of hooker today is really important. And with the new rules, the bigger, stronger, scrummaging hookers will be the ones that will dominate. And the best hooker for me, I don't know if you agree, is a guy called Bismarck du Plessis from South Africa. Why is he good? Because he's big and strong. That's what we need. And guys like Tom Youngs, you even saw that yesterday, really, really struggled in that real intense pressure game. And also doing the simple things like throwing the ball, and like you and I really were so good at.
Well, in fairness, since I was terrible for a lot of it, but I do remember I always found comfort in the fact that for your first 20 caps, you were dreadful. I fit you with that.
I played for the university club in Auckland, and as a young kid went to my first Auckland training, because I was a little whiz kid and I could throw the ball at university, they loved it. Went to my first Auckland training, and it was just full of All Blacks. Andy Hayden, Gary Wetton, Alan Wetton, all these great All Blacks. Threw the ball in, and they go, "What the bloody hell is that?" Threw another one. Hopeless. Didn't know how to throw the ball in. Because at the university club, I'd just throw the ball in, they'd all jump, and whoever caught it was a great throw. So it didn't work with All Blacks, so I had to learn.
I'd Brent Anderson, remember Buck Anderson?
Buck, yeah.
And did he get 3 or 4 caps? Did he?
He probably got 3.
3 caps, yeah. And he was one of my first second rows when I was 18 years of age in Garryowen. And I played the previous year with John Mitchell, who'd been our number 8, a really good New Zealander and former All Black coach. And started throwing. And I throw the ball to Brent. And he wanted the ball at the tip of his fingers. And if you hit it at the end of his hand, he'd just get the ball and kick it down the field. Fetch the pill. I said, "No, I'm not getting it." He said, "You better." He was a huge man, a bear man. He said, "If you don't do it," he said, "I'm going to kill you." I said, "I'll get the ball then." And it was very, those things were, they were mad.
I don't think you can treat the guys like that now. I got told to go